The February market here in Calgary was on fire. Hi, I'm Justin Havre, team leader of the Justin Havre real estate team with eXp Realty. And yes, February was incredibly active here in the Calgary marketplace, where we saw 2,335 properties exchange hands. This is up by nearly 23% over February 2023. Again, high demand is eating up the supply, where we now have only 1.1 months of supply left in the marketplace, which means if no new listings came on, we would have no homes for sale after a month, which would be insane. And we haven't seen these low inventory levels since 2006. So for those of you who've been in a business or remember the market in 06, it was incredibly active and it saw significant price increases in the market at that time. And we're starting to see some pretty significant price increases right now. The overall market saw a price increase of 10.3% for the overall benchmark price, sitting at $585,000. Now for detached properties, our benchmark price is now sitting at $721,300, up by just over 13% year over year. Semi-detached, $639,100, up by nearly 13%. We have rural and townhomes, which is a very hot segment in the marketplace, again due to affordability, up by nearly 19%, where the benchmark price now sits at $436,500. Now for the apartments, the benchmark price in this segment is up by 17.2% year over year, and again an incredibly active part of the market, where the benchmark price sits at $329,600. Yes, these prices are up, but in the perspective of an Ontario buyer or a buyer from Vancouver, we are on sale still at these prices. Our inventory is sitting at 2,355 properties, which is just over 1 month of inventory, as I said earlier on, and we saw 2,711 new listings enter the market, but clearly they're being absorbed at a rapid rate. We are seeing competing offers left, right, and center, and a lot of properties selling in a mere hours of them being listed. So if you're a buyer in today's market, what do you need to do? Well, first and foremost, you need to make sure that you are pre-approved. You need to make sure that you have that pre-approval letter from your lender, because that's going to be a good component that you are going to be using when you're structuring and submitting your offer, because it is very likely that you're going to be competing. Another thing that you need to do is making sure that you have your down payment readily and available. You also need to have a game plan. If you are pre-approved for a certain amount, you cannot be looking at properties that are priced at that amount. You need to have a buffer. You need to be looking at homes that are priced less than what you're pre-approved for. And another thing that may be challenging is that you may be competing against unconditional offers, meaning buyers are putting in offers with no financing, no property inspection, and some even with no condominium document inspection, because the fear of missing out is kicking in and they're trying to put their best foot forward and putting in the strongest offer that's going to be appealing to a seller. And as a seller, if you have a unconditional offer with a significant deposit, you're going to favor that offer over an offer that has conditions. Now, if you're a buyer, you should be clearly aware of the consequences if you're putting in unconditional offers. If you do require financing, if you do want to have a property inspection, or if you're buying a condominium, you definitely do want to review all the condominium documents and bylaws and minutes of the corporation to make sure that you are not buying into something that could cost you down the road. So again, this is why it's incredibly important to work with a professional, a trusted real estate advisor who has experience, that will look out for your best interest above all. And it is also key to maybe not let the FOMO just take over, because again, the dynamics of this market is incredibly challenging. However, it can be maneuvered with logic and reasoning and strategies to ensure that you are also protected and finding that right home. If you are a seller in today's market, it also matters of who you work with and how your property is marketed, and the strategies that an experienced listing agent will use to navigate these scenarios. You definitely do not want to sell on day one if you have a property that is of high interest. You want to ensure that you can allow the market to go through your home and that you can collect as many offers as possible. Again, this will put more money in your pocket but you got to use the right strategies and have the right partner. So I'm going to dive into some statistics that you may find interesting, whether you're a buyer or a seller in today's market. And these numbers are from February of 2024. So as I said earlier, we saw total sales of 1,135 in the marketplace. So in the city of Calgary, we saw 2,135 properties exchange hands here in February of 2024. But now I'm going to dive into some numbers that are probably pretty interesting for you if you're a seller or a buyer. So of the 2,135 properties that sold here in February 2024, we saw over half of them, 1,193 properties, sell at list price or above. Now, the average someone paid above list price in the entire marketplace of Calgary was $19,062. The highest we saw someone pay above list price was $200,000. Now, when we look at the single family detached segment, we saw 954 properties exchange hands, and we saw 519 of those properties sell at list price or above. And the average that someone paid over list price in February of 2024 for a single family detached in Calgary was $28,806, and the highest somebody paid over was $200,000. Now let's get into the row and townhome segment, where we saw 352 properties exchange hands, and 245 of those properties sold at list price or above. The average someone paid over list price on a row and townhome was $17,588, and the maximum that someone bid above list price in this property segment was $72,100. Now looking at the semi-detached product, we saw 191 properties exchange hands. 106 of those properties sold at asking price or above, and the average someone bid above list price was $18,078, and the maximum that someone paid over asking in this segment was $75,000 above list price. Now looking at the apartments, we saw 638 apartments sell. Of those, 323 properties sold at list price or above, which means it was very likely it was competing offers, and the average someone paid over asking for an apartment was $8,059, and the most someone paid over asking price for an apartment in February of 2024 was $66,212. So if you're a buyer in today's market, clearly these numbers are very important for you to analyze and study, because if you are in a competing offer scenario, the number that you're going to be paying above asking price should be a number that you are comfortable bidding, and you got to have a walkaway number, because you're not going to know what the other offers are. It's very unlikely you're going to know that, and it is a number in which you are willing to pay for the property so that you can secure it, so you can now become that property owner. And I do believe that, again, this is a number that you have to be comfortable with. Your real estate agent should never recommend what price you should pay for a home, because it is your purchase. It's a number that you got to be comfortable with, and if you're not comfortable paying a number, then you shouldn't be buying the property. That's just my opinion and my advice. And if you would like a free consultation with any one of our team members to see if we can help be your guide navigating through this complex market, if you're a buyer or if you're a seller that is also looking to buy, you need to have the right team working alongside you. So you can find us online at justinhavre.com or calgary.com for that matter. And you can also just call us at the office at 403-217-0003. Happy house hunting.